Halloween, Halloween, creepy crawly Halloween, trick or treating all in fun. October 31st has come. Halloween, Halloween, spooky kooky Halloween, kids in costumes, what a sight on Halloween.
Yeah. This is a new podcast. This is called Hauntcore History, and it's brought to you by the Higbee Horror Haunt, our affiliates with the Horrific Network. This is a show that John, Ashley, and I do, and if you're hearing that crowd sound, I apologize. That's just traffic because we are on our way home from Sinister Creature Con, the first day of Sinister June, or spring. Super fun time. You can listen to all of that on our other show that gets released this week. That, though, is on that show. This is Hauntcore History, and what we're going to do is we're going to spend a lot of the time going by year of the things that are events that we loved attending. And I can tell you, we've gone to different haunts as we've grown up, but these are going to be mainly centered around haunts, Halloween Horror Nights, Six Flags Fright Fest, Grand America's Halloween Haunt. Because those are the four major ones in our vicinity.
Yes.
So
maybe a sprinkle of Queen Mary, Dark Harbor.
Oh, yeah, we can talk Queen Mary, Queen Mary, Dark Harbor. But before we get into the big one, it's interesting with Halloween Horror Nights that they did some stuff like back in the early 90s, mid 90s.
Yeah.
And then like had something happen, like there was some kind of an accident.
Yeah.
And it shut the whole thing down. Because there was like the Undertaker haunted house back then.
Which I would love to go to.
Dude,
like you look at some of their old lineup for mazes and it's like, dude, I wish that was during the time era when YouTube was a thing, because thankfully because of YouTube, people now film these mazes, so you can literally go back and watch most of them. But back then, in those days, it wasn't really a thing, so there's like no footage.
Yeah, like zero footage.
There's not even like pictures for the most part of some of these mazes. Like I've found like one picture of like a facade for one of them.
I found a like 3-paragraph description of what the Undertaker maze was. And it was like you started out at a funeral home, but the funeral home, like one scene in the funeral home, I don't know if it was at the end or at the beginning, but it was like the funeral home was on fire for Kane.
Oh, that's cool. Was it music playing?
Kane, I don't know. I don't know that much. I know that he was kind of a instrumental part then.
Yeah.
For everything. That's pretty much all I know. I don't know anything about that.
And the title, Undertaker, No Mercy, which No Mercy at the time was a pay-per-view that they would have. So talk about a tie-in.
I believe it was their October pay-per-view too.
Yeah.
No Mercy. No Mercy for you.
But I mean, they did a mummy maze back then, based on the film.
Well, that was their year-round.
Oh, that was the year-round one then?
Before it was the Universal House of Horrors, it was a mummy haunted house.
Well, I know that they had Van Helsing for a while as well. Was their walkthrough, and
but Van Helsing was very much the House of Horrors.
Yeah, they just decorated up a little bit. Yeah, turned it into Universal.
They had a baby bat on the bridge.
Yeah.
So, Jimmy, to take this back for you, 1986 was the year that they had opened up and here for Hollywood. at Horror Nights.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, they had to close because this character got a little over enthusiastic in their performance and fell in between two of the tram cars and was crushed to death.
Holy shit. Okay.
And that's why they had to stop. And they wouldn't hold another Halloween event for 6 years after that. So it came back 91-ish, 92-ish, 92.
Okay. And then how long was it there for?
Yeah, it went on like a little streak and then it went away again in like 2000s.
92 through 97, 98.
Okay, so it was there for
99, 2000, and then it came back in 2006.
And that's when John Murray took up the reins.
Interesting. Okay. So, I don't know, the way that I kind of figured we would do this, but do you have like what was going on each year in front of you?
Yeah, I do.
So what was the very first year?
Take us back.
The very first year of Halloween Horror Nights Hollywood. What did they have?
Signature attraction was Terror Tram, which was the nighttime version of the Backlot Tour.
Okay.
Since someone got ran over. As far as it goes back that far, it doesn't really tell us the lineup. It doesn't really start giving us lineups until 92.
Okay, so go to 92.
So
then.
basically during that time frame, obviously, all the event was a nighttime Terror Tram experience.
Right.
Yeah,
And in
Unless
92,
they had some sort of scare zones going on as well, but...
So in 92, there wasn't really a whole lot going on as far as mazes. They did Maze of the Maniacs
Interesting.
and Nightmare Alley.
Okay.
And they had Terror Tram. And then they had 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 shows happening
Holy
in one
shit.
ride. The one ride, E.T.'s Adventure.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh my god.
Bring it on.
Here were the list of shows: Penn and Teller, The Amazing Frankenstein, Dungeon of Terror, Tower of Torture, Carnival of Carnage, Chucky's In Your Face Insults, Julia
Damn.
Wild's Roadside Cuisine, Death Globe, The Wild Wild Witch Hunt, The Living Deadheads Review, Club Fright, Burn and Bury Swap Meet, Beetlejuice's Graveyard Review, The Voodoo Gurus, Zombie Spooktacular, and Backdraft.
Damn.
That sounds more like those are attractions. Like scare zones or experiences or something.
Yeah, they're all listed as shows.
Interesting.
Well,
Does it say what the mazes are? Like what they're about?
Let's see. Maze of Maniacs was one of 2 haunted mazes that was featured during Halloween Horror Nights in 92.
Wow, so
And the
they only have
description
2?
says, take a turn for the worse in this wicked, winding asylum of murders and misfits. And that's all that we get.
So it'd be like a prison setting.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the other one?
Nightmare Alley.
Yeah, what's Nightmare Alley about?
Nightmare Alley is a house of horror where movie monsters and maniacs invite you in for a bite.
All right.
Like sounds like a hodgepodge house.
Yeah.
They both sound like hodgepodges. So okay, so 92, a bunch of shows, couple houses. 93, is there any
shit
difference?
ton of shows.
No, the next difference, the next change goes to 97.
Okay.
The haunted mazes were Monster Aquarium,
Monster Aquarium.
a classic monster maze,
That's
Crypt Keeper Film Vault,
Hell yeah.
shit.
and Area 51.
Those are the mazes?
Okay.
Those were the mazes. And then
Oh,
the
shit.
shows at this time were Beetlejuice's Rockin' Graveyard Review, Creepy Animals,
I wish they'd bring that back.
Circus of Freaks, and Bill and Ted's Excellent Halloween Adventure. So that would be the first year of Bill and Ted's.
Damn, they had Bill.
That was what year did you say?
97.
So 97. Okay, so let's go. So this is the first real year of what we're gonna do on this show. Let's break down
Oh, yeah.
Halloween Horror Nights 97. So the first house, pick whichever house you wanted.
Monster Aquarium. We'll just go in order.
Okay. what do they say is the...
Monster Aquarium was a walkthrough experience that was created in the Waterworld front of house and stage area. Due to the odd location, it relied on weird vignettes, animatronic stunts, and actors in and on the water.
What?
Wow.
Which is awesome because that's something that we talk about all the time, that they should be using that more often, and they don't.
Damn, that sounds badass.
That sounds badass for sure.
Like, I'd be terrified.
Bring it back.
I'd be terrified to be like walking, then all of a sudden have like one of the actors just dive bomb in the water like next to you and like splash you. Like, if they came like falling out of nowhere and hit the
Or
water.
if you're on a raft.
Oh fuck.
Like, that would be
At
amazing.
night in that water, I'd be shitting my pants.
Yeah. Holy shit. Okay, that one's number one by far. What else is there?
Classic Monster Maze. One of the 4 haunted mazes. Oh wait. Short but fun maze of classic Universal monsters.
10 miles. Continue on to California.
Which is expected for
Yeah.
Universal.
But thinking of how it was probably back then,
Okay, yeah.
it might have been a little corny. Might have been like they're like softer.
But that's a go-to property.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
you're-
for them. I
you're
mean, come on.
Universal Studios, you have to.
Yeah.
You're bringing this, like, you're trying to, like, revitalize this. You have to really go with a monster maze for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the next one?
So next is Crypt Keeper Film Vault. And they go hard on this description. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Shit.
Modern film monsters.
Okay.
Is that all we get?
That's all we get.
Oh shit.
Oh.
That's what I said. I was being sarcastic. They go hard.
Yeah. That's
So-
not hard at all. Like, does that mean?
I'm guessing it would be like Jason and Freddy, I'm guessing.
It doesn't say anything else but
Wow. Just modern monsters.
that. So that doesn't leave
I
much
mean,
to the imagination.
I guess
there.
it could be original, but
Right. So now after that, Crypt Keeper Film Vault, which was just basic
Nothing.
nothing, becomes Area 51. And the description in this one says aliens in cold storage and running amok. Amok, 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 amok.
all right. Sounds like a pretty
Straight
generic, probably gray alien
Yeah, we
type of maze.
I take on the gray alien. for
Yeah.
sure. Do you think out of those 4 that the aquarium one is the best one?
Oh,
Oh,
God,
for
yes.
sure.
Just from the description alone, and
When you wanted to
And
come
the
back,
idea.
you know it was the best one.
I mean,
Yeah.
from the name, you're like, what? But then it's like, as soon as you read that description, it's kind of like, damn, it's like, that would be so cool. Just because it's so different, you know? And I feel like with Universal, you know, we're getting so much of the same stuff now that it's kind of like, that would be, you know, a really cool thing for them to implement with Waterworld.
I just don't know how you would do it. Like, I want to know how they did it back then. Because the only thing that I can think of is that they have someone in the water, but you just kind of walk around the front row of the arena, and that sounds hella stupid. Like, back then, I'm sure that was cool because it was different, and it was in water, and it was an aquarium thing because it's Waterworld, and yeah, that stadium is an aquarium theme. It's got like steampunk shit and big sharks and whatever all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
But is that really what we want now? Would you
Well,
want
I'm sure they would do a lot better than probably what they got then.
Oh, I'm sure they would too. I mean, that's just
But just the idea of like part of the maze actually going by the waterfront, you know, and utilize that space to where you could do something would be freaking awesome.
so you'd be super excited about it if it did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we've been talking about it for the past 5 years that we've wanted them to do something with that.
I mean,
Well,
they did their,
every maze they put there has been really cool.
yeah.
Yeah, but you could put so much more in all that open space in there. You could almost do a Monster Aquarium haunt show
Oh yeah, you totally could.
Yeah.
and actually utilize that venue for another show.
Yeah, compared to Slaughter World.
Yeah, Slaughter World. That was interesting.
We'll get into that eventually.
Yeah, yeah. So, are there any scare zones?
No. It just says, sorry guys, haunt mazes, shows, and rides. It doesn't list any scare zones at this point.
So then what were the shows again?
Beetlejuice's Rock and Graveyard Review.
Hell yeah.
Creepy Animals. Circus of Freaks. And the first year of Bill and Ted's Excellent Halloween Adventure.
Damn.
That show lineup is what we should be getting currently at the event. Like, the event now has gotten so bare on shows.
Well, the only show that you really see is Jabberwockies now.
Yeah, and it's like, if we were to have those 4 shows, I would easily go see 3 out of the 4.
I have not been to the Jabberwockies one time.
I enjoy the Jabberwockies, so we've been every time.
Yeah. It's a good show.
I have no
Desire
to watch the Jabberwockies.
I will say, for people who don't have the desire to go see it, it's a good time for you to like sit down and take your moment for the night.
I think my thing, like, I mean, if we want to talk about that, I think the show's great. The Jabberwockies are awesome, but my big issue is it's not really horror related.
Right.
And it's like, yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, you know, in their show they try to put in a little bit of horror element, but it just
falls short.
It's, you don't see Jabberwockies and go, oh shit, that's like a horror themed show. Like, it doesn't jump out with that. While, you know, Bill and Ted's Halloween Adventure, you're like, oh, there's gonna be like a Halloween show. Or, you know, Beetlejuice's Review, you're like, oh fuck, you know, Beetlejuice, that's a show.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's like, those were... I mean, Bill and Ted was such a freaking awesome show. It was so funny.
Bill and Ted was an awesome show, and the fact that it ended because people got too social justice warrior-y is really sad.
Mm-hmm.
But, at the same time, Knott's still does the hanging every year.
They made a joke about Universal getting rid of Bill and Ted.
The first year that I went to Knott's, they made a joke about getting rid of Bill and Ted's, and it was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know what the answer is. Now they're not going to bring it back because of Bill and Ted 3, I think. Like, even Orlando stopped doing it. But, yeah, there was no win in that situation. If they don't do it, I think they messed up because they...
Stopped doing it.
But they stopped doing Bill and Ted, like, 2 weeks into the season.
Yeah, which was horrible. Because then they had nothing. So it was literally just mazes and scare zones, which I think what's nice about the shows is it helps gobble up customers and it gives them a chance to kind of relax a little bit, which is great because
Continue straight.
at an event like that, you want some lows for the customer. You know, you want the lows to bring them down so that you can
Scare the crap
out of them, bring them back up. Because if you're trying to be at a constant high, you're not going to make that happen.
So going to 1998 then.
Okay, do you want to know the rides from 97?
Oh, sure.
So Jurassic Park, the ride. E.T. Adventure, and then the Back to the Future, the ride.
Hell yeah.
So it went from the show, from the Backdraft show into the Back to the Future, the ride show, which I miss, honestly.
Wait, they're two different things though. Backdraft and Back to the Future.
Right, but you had, one was a show, and then you had, it says in here that Back to the Future took over for the Backdraft ride. The show, it took over for the show.
So basically they stopped running. Oh, that was nice.
Yeah, sure.
They stopped running Backdraft and instead had Back to the Future, the ride open.
So now moving into 98, the haunt mazes were Clive Barker's Freaks Maze.
No shit.
Classic Creature Features.
Oh yeah.
The Crypt Keeper's Screaming Room. And Alien Assault. So not
okay.
much changeover, just a little bit of elaboration and add-on.
We got that Clive Barker. What does that say?
Excuse me. Clive Barker's Freaks. Human curiosities, unusual oddities, and freaks of nature.
Interesting. Then does the Crypt Keeper one say anything more this time?
I will tell you. Crypt Keeper Screaming Room. The monsters and slashers that have taunted you through the years from the big screen.
So it's like a
Kind
hodgepodge, yeah.
of sounds like the one from before. It sounds like, because then the next one is like an alien one,
Alien Assault.
which, I mean, they did an alien one the previous year, so it kind of sounds like they just,
It went from Area 51 to Alien Assault.
like they might have added some stuff, so they changed the names of the mazes.
Like just swapped
Right.
Yeah,
stuff.
which,
It went from Classic Monsters Maze to Creature Features.
yeah.
The shows at that time were the ultimate tribute to Kiss,
Oh shit. Okay.
Chucky's Wedding Chapel,
What?
What?
Slaughter World,
Oh, there it is.
World.
Bill and Ted's Excellent Halloween Adventure 2,
Bring it back.
and Carnival of Carnage,
Nice.
Interesting.
and the same 3 rides from the year before.
Cool. So Slaughter World.
Slaughter World is a very interesting thing. It's essentially Water World, but this dominatrix chick kills all the good guys and wins.
And they basically use a lot of the water effects as blood.
Yeah.
A spectacular tidal wave of death-defying stunts, awesome explosions, and an ocean of thrills. A naughtier version from the Day Show.
That's what it is. Absolutely nailed it.
Pretty much, if you've seen that show one time, you're good.
Yeah.
Because we went the second year and saw it again, and it was like the exact same show.
Yeah,
So it was like, well, this was a waste of time.
I remember it was an offer, or it was available 2 times for me, and we did not watch it the second year.
Yeah. So I mean, if you're getting a lot of new customers that have never done it, sure, it's another thing to help fill in the time.
Yeah.
Especially during this time where the event only has 4 mazes.
Yeah.
You really needed the shows to help balance it out and fill in those dead spots.
For
Because
sure.
I'm sure at this time too, the park probably wasn't as slammed.
Yeah.
So you probably got through the mazes pretty quick.
Yeah, I would imagine. Pretty fast.
Yeah. I wonder what
Go ahead.
Chucky's Wedding Chapel was all
Yeah,
about.
Chucky's Wedding Chapel sounds super interesting.
Chucky and his bride Tiffany host nightly weddings, and audience participation is mandatory.
Huh. Interesting.
What about Terror Tram or anything like that? Does it say?
Let me get back to it. It says nothing about Terror Tram. And it says Back to the Future, E.T., and Jurassic Park, and that's it.
Wow, so they literally, because even last year there wasn't anything on the Terror Tram, was there? I don't think you said anything, so once they rebooted it, they didn't even have Terror Tram going, it sounds like.
Last year was Terror Tram with
He's
the
talking
clown,
about
wasn't it?
as far as our
No, I'm talking about on the timeline.
Oh.
For 92.
So 92,
Oh, yeah.
there was Terror Tram. 97, there was none. 98, there was none.
Oh, wow.
So they hadn't brought it back yet. Interesting.
Terror Tram doesn't come back until 2006.
Oh, shit. So when Murdy and them took it over is when it came back.
So
Wow.
now we move into 99.
Okay, so 99.
99. Moving into 99. Haunted mazes are Clive Barker's Hell, the thrilling, chilling world of Rob Zombie,
There it is.
The Mummy, Creature Features and Cleaver's Meat Locker.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Creature feature. 2 years.
The Mummy, I can tell you right now, the Mummy, this is the first year you're seeing a year-round attraction be used for Halloween Horror Nights. That Mummy Maze, I'm guaranteeing you, was the Mummy thing that was there year-round.
Was that in the same location where
House of Horrors used to be?
So where where all of them were at? No, where does it say it was at?
This is. It doesn't list where it's at here, but it's not reoccurring at this point. It says, encounter the actual terrors that traumatized you in Universal Pictures' smash hit movie. And it shows some pictures, but it doesn't show where the Lion King was.
I'd be surprised if it wasn't the year-round one, but what does it say about the Rob Zombie one? World of what Rob Zombie?
It says... Alright, let's see. 99. Thrilling, chilling world of Rob Zombie. Tunnel deep inside the most depraved realm of all, Rob Zombie's brain, where the living dead reign supreme.
Damn, so I wonder if it was like his Alice Cooper maze.
Probably.
Fuck.
Which means it probably would have been like an insane like gore
Like
fest.
living dead girl.
Oh shit, that would have been badass.
Dude, you could do so much with Rob Zombie songs.
I kind of wish that they would have almost done something like that at Universal.
Oh,
like,
damn, you literally straight walk into his head.
yeah, they had like his mouth
Yeah,
that you like
I don't know
walk
if you
into.
can see that, Jimmy.
Holy shit, that's fucking awesome.
Bring that back.
Yeah, for real.
Fucking bring that back, like, right meow.
Okay, so that's the second one. What about Clive Barker's Hell? Does it say anything?
Clive Barker's Hell. Dare to enter the putrid pit of infernal damnation from the wizard of wickedness.
Huh.
So none of his are specifically saying that Hellraiser's involved.
Yeah. I wonder if they're like just complete originals.
These are all like they all sound like short stories
Yeah.
that he has written.
Oh, possibly.
Okay, then what's the other one?
The other one was Creature Features, which was just like a returning from the year before.
But it was like a meat locker or something. wasn't it?
No. That was something separate. It was Creature Features, and then it lists Cleaver's Meat Locker, which was bloodthirsty butchers hack their way through various cuts of meat, including human flesh.
So they're doing the whole like cannibalistic slaughterhouse thing.
So this is when they first had 5 mazes then.
Yeah.
So they hit 5 at this point.
Because Creature Features at this point in 99 says, step through the movie screen to rub elbows and other body parts with classic Universal monsters like Frankenstein, Dracula, and Wolfman.
Interesting. So
that one was
another
more of a
Universal monster maze.
Yeah. Sounds like that they almost have had that every year at this point.
Yeah, for sure. Do they... No Terror Tram, right?
No.
Terror Tram.
What shows do they have?
Chucky's Insult Emporium.
Yeah.
Oh, they had a...
That's the first year that they've had that, I
No,
bet.
they didn't. I'm sorry.
No, it was a previous
99
year,
was
but-
Chucky's Insult Emporium.
So they had it as a result of the wedding chapel, I bet.
And then the second show was Animal House of Horrors. Bill and Ted's Excellent Halloween Adventure 3.
Hell yeah.
And Carnival of Carnage.
Nice.
What is Carnival of Carnage?
That was created by, I don't know if at this point if Florida had already created
Hang
Jack
on
the
to
No,
your-
that
Clown
was like 2007.
when they created Jack the Clown.
Yeah, I think so.
It says, freak out at the sight of this gory collection of sword swallowers, glass eaters, and human pincushions torturing themselves into a tizzy.
So it's just like a side
So it's like a sideshow.
Interesting. So that is the 90s, and then let's
We
get
move into
2000s. in there.
2000s.
Nice.
We're starts getting lengthy.
Damn.
Haunted mazes. The Undertaker, No Mercy.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, yeah.
Buffy and Angel, Hellmouth Haunt in the Mummy Cube. Rob Zombie's The House of 1,000 Corpses maze.
And that was in 2000?
2000.
So that was before the film even came out.
Yeah.
And then Clive Barker's Harvest. And then Theater of Blood. And this was the first year that they had a scare zone.
Ooh.
Interesting. So, what's the description for the Undertaker's maze?
The Undertaker, No Mercy, a raw, in-your-face horror experience based on the WWE superstar, The Undertaker.
I'm sold.
Bring it back. Let's do it again.
That's the creepy Undertaker too.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm all in.
What's next?
Buffy and Angel, Hellmouth Haunt.
Oh my God. Okay.
Basically, the guests become a part of an episode of Buffy where they explore some of the sets from Buffy, including Buffy's dorm in Sunnydale Park. They walk through those sets and experience them. Then they go through a subway, and when they get off the subway, they ended up in Los Angeles in Angel's World. They experience Angel's apartment and some of the other settings from that show.
Super exciting.
Yeah, that doesn't really sound much like a maze as much as like a
Plug for the
tour almost.
show.
Rob Zombie's The House of 1,000 Corpses maze, based on Zombie's upcoming debut as a director and screenwriter.
So yeah, like you said, before the maze was even out,
Before the movie, yeah.
or before the movie. Yeah.
3 years before the movie, actually.
That's pretty intense.
So it makes me wonder, like, if he'd done the maze and he literally just pulled his ideas from the maze and created the film
Well,
based on
it says
that.
it's based on his movie, so they had some idea as to what they wanted and what it was going to look like. They had to have had. I wonder how much detail they put
Right?
in that maze. Was it like a Crimson Peak style maze, or was it like a?
From the pictures, it was pretty badass.
You can see pictures.
Yeah.
Does it look like what it was in like 2008, 9?
John would know.
Oh, shit.
What is
I
this?
mean-
What is this website that you're at?
HalloweenHorrorNights.fandom.com.
Interesting.
I mean, it literally looked like
Rob Zombie
The
made
fucking
an actual
movie.
based on the Haunted Maze. The movie was called House of 1,000 Corpses and even got a sequel titled The Devil's Reject. It's listed as trivia for that.
Huh. Okay.
damn.
What's next?
So next is Clive Barker's Harvest.
What is that?
Third year in a row with Clive Barker.
Damn, he's been
Says-
heavily involved. Yeah.
The description says you'll walk through a hole in the wall of a mausoleum leading into the ground where something is reclaiming the dead to incubate its young.
Nice.
Ooh, sounds like a vampire house. Okay.
And then last but not least, is Theater of Blood. A vault of Universal's classic horror films where you'll find yourself prey to the most merciless celluloid slashers and fiends.
Of course, they came back. That was definitely their go-to maze. It's like, we have this every year. Like,
Miles. Take exit 233 onto California 219 and Broadway toward Kiernan Avenue.
The maze movie mashup thing. That's kind of been their go-to throughout the 90s here.
yeah.
Into the year 2000.
Scare Zone is next.
Yeah, what's the scare zone?
Nightmare Creatures 2.
There was a 1?
Yeah. That was my thought.
Yeah, but it doesn't list that. And it says, the description says, help destroy the evil Adam Crawley and his hideous board of lab experiment creatures as they prepare to take over the world, beginning with you.
Alright. So, like, mutants and, like, you know, lab experiment type of creatures.
Yeah. That, I can imagine, is pretty rad. you probably have them running out like all over the streets and stuff. Does it say how big the scare zone was?
No, it does not.
So they probably took up quite a bit of the lot, you would think. Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
Shows for 2000: Chucky's Insult Emporium, Carnival of Carnage, and Animal House of Horrors.
Damn, no Bill and Ted's?
Damn, some No Bill and Ted
So
that
Bill
year.
and Ted's then.
Wow.
So then we don't have a Halloween Horror Nights until 2006 after that. So
Okay.
there's a
Well,
6-year gap.
so with 2000, though, that kind of sounds like a little bit of a rough year. I mean,
Yeah.
the Undertaker maze and like House of a Thousand Corpses kind of sound like the big one. I mean, well, I guess Clive
You
Barker.
say that until you hear the lineup from 2006.
Oh, I know the
Well,
lineup
yeah,
from 2006.
that's- Because now you're touching to the point of when we're starting to.
Yeah, well, we've
Go.
started to attend.
So we can discuss in detail what that event was like when we come back to it.
Mhm.
Next week we will discuss Knott's Berry Farm, its origins, which is more extensive, but we're not gonna do like a 3-hour podcast.
No,
even though
we
that-
will make it very quick and to the point.
We'll talk about some of their more well-known houses and when maybe they first kind of came into light, because they do their lineup every year since it's
Yeah, they started in
Creations.
72.
it's an encyclopedia. You do
Yeah.
a whole season. You can do a whole season on that. So what we're gonna do is next week we'll do that, and then we'll do Great America, and then Six Flags, respectively as well. And then once we get into years that we go, we may only get through like 2006, 2007 total, because what we'll do is we'll do an episode dedicated to Halloween Horror Nights, the mazes, and an episode for scare zones and shows. And then we will go 2006 mazes for Not Scary Farm, and then we'll do scare zones and shows. So each year produces 8 weeks, and that's pretty close to a little over 3/4 of what a season will be. So once we find a good spot, we'll take a break for haunt season and the holiday as far as what we've been talking about. But it was cool to kind of imagine what some of those mazes were going to be like that we sadly will never get to see.
Yeah, no, that's like the big bummer. And I mean, it really makes you appreciate, YouTube and this whole time era of everybody wanting to film everything and put it up, with social media. So, I mean, looking back, you could find videos on any maze at this point on.
Yeah, if you never get to go to Halloween Horror Nights, like I've done Florida once and it was amazing, but that's the only way that we can fantasize about what some of those mazes will ever have been like mazes. And that, like, I can tell you, going to Florida, I had watched YouTube videos of Florida so long, I freaked out when I met Jack the Clown and the director and the caretaker and all these characters.
Awesome icons that they've created.
I have never, I had never seen in person before that, and I already felt like they were like characters I had known my whole life. That's how much I had watched the YouTube and wanted to go to Halloween Horror Nights Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
And to do that for their 20-year reunion was super rad. I hope next year to do it for their 30-year reunion.
Nice.
I feel like that would be a really cool one to go to.
Hell yeah.
But that being said, there's a bunch of podcasts about Halloween Horror Nights Orlando. Halloween Horror Nights, is it this one or the next one?
2 more.
Going, right? 2 more. Halloween Horror Nights Hollywood doesn't get a whole lot of love podcasting wise, and neither do a lot of the California haunted attractions that are super fun to go to. So,
Which is very surprising because we really have, as far as like event wise, we do have quite a bit here in the state.
yeah, for sure.
And so, I mean, we're very fortunate to have so many.
Yeah, no, we have more haunted events than we'd ever have time to do.
Well, I mean, and you guys know that just from doing your haunt tour, just from this area, you guys literally fill up your whole calendar
Yeah.
in October, and you know it's crazy how many haunts just in the general area there are to hit.
Yeah,
So-
without question. And
In 2 miles,
with that,
take exit 233 onto California 219.
looking
Broadway Toward
forward
Kieran
To
What?
diving into these later years.
well, to dive into the later years, but next week to dive into Knott's Berry Farm
Yeah.
history. This is now your guys' favorite thing over Halloween Hornets.
Yeah.
You guys like Knott's better?
Yeah, I would say I've appreciated Knott's, and they've definitely have stepped their game up to the point to where their event as a whole definitely exceeds Universal.
Interesting. That's interesting. So we'll learn on the next episode of Hauntcore history. We will learn about the origin of Knott's and get us caught up on SARS highlights up until this point in Hauntcore history.